Let's be honest, relationships aren't always what we hope they are. Sometimes you meet someone, things feel good at first, but then subtle patterns start showing up. Small behaviors that feel off, but you ignore them because you want it to work. Here's the thing, those little red flags, they're not just small, they can grow into big problems that drain your energy, shake your confidence, and rob you of self-respect. Think about the moments when you feel tense around someone, but you brush it off. That gut feeling is your internal warning system trying to signal a problem. Ignoring it usually leads to more stress and confusion. Today, I'm going to show you the signs that scream, "Walk away now," without drama, without guessing games. If you catch these, it's better to step back before you get too invested. 1. Recognizing emotional manipulation. Red flag number 1, emotional manipulation. This isn't just someone being moody or having a bad day. I'm talking about a pattern where she twists situations to make you feel guilty or responsible for her emotions. Example, you cancel plans, and instead of understanding, she says something like, "Wow, I guess I don't matter to you." That's a subtle jab. It might seem harmless once, but if it's repeated, it's controlling. You should never feel like your happiness is on someone else's terms. What's dangerous about this is how slowly it creeps in. At first, it feels like she's sensitive and you want to be accommodating. Over time, it chips away at your boundaries, and before you know it, you're constantly walking on eggshells. That's not respect, that's manipulation. Look closely at how she responds when you assert yourself. If asserting your boundaries sparks guilt trips, emotional storms, or passive-aggressive comments, you're witnessing manipulation in action. Recognizing this early can save months or even years of unnecessary stress. 2. Lack of accountability. Next, pay attention to accountability. Does she admit when she's wrong, or is every argument your fault? Stoicism teaches us that self-awareness and personal responsibility are non-negotiable for emotional maturity. Here's a simple test. Someone throws a harsh comment at you, and you respond calmly. Does she double down and blame you, or does she take a moment to reflect? The ones who can't own their mistakes will drag you into endless drama, and that's exhausting. You don't want someone who shifts blame to preserve their ego. You want someone who matches your self-respect with their own. Anything less is a relationship that will quietly erode your confidence. Notice patterns in daily life. Missed promises, careless behavior, or avoiding responsibility for minor things. Each moment where accountability is missing signals a bigger picture. Recognizing it now helps you choose a partner who strengthens your clarity instead of weakening it. 3. Constant need for validation. Another big red flag, constant need for validation. Everyone likes compliments, sure, but if every interaction feels like it's about feeding her ego, it's a problem. Watch out for phrases like, "If you really loved me, you'd," or "You never notice me." These aren't just insecurity, they're attempts to control your behavior with guilt. You should never feel like your attention, approval, or time is something someone is entitled to. A healthy partner can enjoy attention, but doesn't demand it to prove their worth. If you notice this early, don't rationalize it as a phase. It rarely gets easier without real self-reflection. Pay attention to subtle cues too. Repeated posts on social media seeking validation, fishing for compliments constantly, or dismissing your achievements while highlighting their own. These patterns indicate emotional dependency that will weigh on you more than you think. 4. Disrespecting boundaries. Boundaries are non-negotiable. If she mocks your goals, dismisses your hobbies, or pressures you into things you're uncomfortable with, that's a serious warning. A subtle version could be jokes that belittle your work, or casual comments about your friends and family. At first, it seems harmless. But if someone repeatedly pushes your limits, they're showing what they value more, their control, than your comfort. Respect is a mirror. If she doesn't show it to you, don't expect it to change over time. Walking away protects your peace and self-respect. Also, notice if your physical, emotional, or digital boundaries are ignored. Repeatedly dismissing your no or trying to guilt you into things you don't want is a clear indicator. Healthy relationships thrive on mutual respect, not constant negotiation of limits. 5. Gaslighting and reality distortion. Gaslighting is when someone makes you question your own memory, perception, or reality. It's not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's as subtle as, "You're imagining that," or "I never said that, you must have misunderstood." The problem is, if you start doubting yourself constantly, you stop trusting your own judgment. That's dangerous for anyone who values clarity and calm, because your peace becomes dependent on her narrative. A Stoic approach. If someone consistently challenges your perception of reality without reason, it's a sign to step back. Trust yourself first. Keep track of your interactions over time. If you often leave a conversation wondering if you overreacted or misremembered, that's a red flag. Your mental clarity is non-negotiable, and constant doubt is not something to tolerate. 6. Patterns, not isolated incidents. Here's what most people miss. It's never about a single argument or one bad day. It's patterns. Look for repeated behaviors. Are they consistent with respect, accountability, and honesty? Or are they consistently eroding your confidence? Patterns matter more than feelings. You might love someone's charm, humor, or energy, but if the underlying behavior is toxic, charm won't fix it. Clarity comes from observing long enough to see the pattern, then making the choice to protect yourself. Ask yourself, if this behavior continued for 6 months, a year, or longer, how would it affect your peace and self-esteem? Thinking ahead in this way separates temporary issues from chronic problems that require action. 7. Stoic lens on red flags. From a Stoic perspective, these red flags are all about control. Who controls your emotions? Who dictates your worth? You can't control anyone else, but you can control how long you tolerate disrespect. The philosophy isn't just about endurance, it's about wisdom. Wisdom tells you to identify what harms your mind, peace, and self-respect, and remove it. It's not cruelty, it's self-preservation. Stoics focus on separating what you can control from what you cannot. Someone's attitude, behavior, and manipulations fall into the cannot control category. Choosing to walk away is exercising wisdom, not anger. It's about living a life that strengthens your mental clarity and self-respect. 8. How to respond. So, what do you do when you see these red flags? First, observe. Don't react emotionally. Notice the behavior and see if it's a pattern. Second, trust your instincts. If something feels off repeatedly, respect that feeling. Walking away isn't giving up. It's choosing clarity, calm, and dignity over chaos and manipulation. It's prioritizing yourself. And here's a practical tip. Create a mental checklist. Emotional manipulation? Check. Lack of accountability? Check. Need for constant validation? Check. Check. If multiple boxes tick, it's time to exit gracefully, not angrily. Also, remember that walking away doesn't need to be dramatic. It's a quiet choice to protect your peace. Make a decision that aligns with your long-term self-respect, and don't look back with regret. Remember, the goal isn't to be cynical about women. It's to be wise about behavior that affects your self-respect. Life is short, and your peace is priceless. Recognize the patterns early, act decisively, and protect your mental space. If you found this useful, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments, because knowing these red flags isn't just about relationships. It's about building a life with clarity, calm, and self-respect.